In the shadowed depths of ancient grimoires, where truths twist and lies take form, a demon lurks, his gaze a veil of deception that binds the soul in darkness. Aamon, the shadow demon of secrets and chaos. His presence, a storm that drowns the heart in dread. Known as the seventh spirit in the Ars Goetia and a marquis of hell in Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum, his wolf-like form, with eyes blazing like dying embers and serpent's tail, coiling like a curse, weave a terror that pierces the heart, his breath a fiery tempest of hidden truths that burns the mind. From medieval altars trembling under his sigil to whispered tales in 2025, Aamon's name haunts those who seek his power, his influence a relentless tide that warps reason and shapes destinies from the shadows. A 12th century tale speaks of a Cologne monk who glimpsed Aamon's shadow in a storm, his monastery scarred with claw marks that pulsed under moonlight, his dreams consumed by a wolf's howl that echoed through the night. Aamon's legacy stretches across centuries, his sigil etched in blood and ink, a chain that binds the souls of those who dare invoke his name, his deception a force that bends reality itself. In ancient Babylon, priests whispered of a wolf-like spirit whose gaze unveiled secrets, their altars quaking as his sigil glowed, the air thick with ash and dread. A 7th century BCE tale tells of a Judean seer who invoked Aamon, his visions filled with burning cities, his body wasting as the demon's eyes pierced his soul, the ground trembling with his serpent's hiss. In 2025, his shadow lingers in Paris museums, where grimoires hum with his energy, their pages writhing as if alive, chilling curators who feel his gaze pierce the ages. A 2024 Iraqi tale whispers of a desert shrine spared a sandstorm after etching his sigil, the sands scarred with marks that glowed faintly, the air heavy with sulfur and fear. Is Aamon a mere spirit of deceit, a master of forbidden knowledge, or a cosmic force that shapes destinies from the shadows of hell? His howl is a storm that shakes the soul, his sigil a tide that threatens to sweep the heart into an eternal abyss. In 2024, a Syrian tale speaks of an artist who painted his sigil, his studio trembling as his dreams burned with a serpent's gaze, his canvas scarred as if by claws. Demonology enthusiasts, join us as we unravel Aamon's origins in ancient rites, his powers of deception and prophecy, his perilous rituals, and his chilling echoes in our world. From medieval grimoires to modern whispers of chaos, which of his secrets terrifies you most? His visions that twist the mind, or his lies that bind the soul? Share below, subscribe for more dives into the abyss, and beware. His howl still sounds, his storm ever poised to claim the heart in an unending night. Aamon's origins, the shadow of hell. In the infernal hierarchy of the Ars Goetia, Aamon emerges as the seventh spirit, a marquis commanding 40 legions, his grotesque form a fusion of wolf's head, with eyes blazing like dying embers, and a serpent's tail coiling like a curse casting, a shadow that twists the mind into chaos. The Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum paints him as a terror with a wolf's maw, a serpent's tail, and a breath that spews flames, his voice a whisper that binds the soul, his presence a tempest of dread that warps truth into lies. A 10th century BCE tale from Babylon tells of a priest who glimpsed Aamon in a vision, his altar trembling as a wolf's howl pierced the night, the air thick with ash and sulfur, the ground scarred with claw marks that glowed faintly under starlight, as if the earth itself recoiled from his gaze. Some ancient texts whisper of a link to the Egyptian god Aamon, a deity of hidden winds whose celestial fall forged a demon of deception, his power a storm that bends reality, a divine lie cloaking a force of annihilation that haunts the heart. In medieval Europe, Aamon's name was a curse whispered in fear, his sigil etched on parchment to summon his forbidden knowledge, the pages trembling as if grazed by his unseen claws, their ink pulsing with an unearthly glow. A 12th century tale speaks of a monk in Cologne who saw Aamon's shadow in a storm, his dreams haunted by a wolf's gaze that burned without warmth, the monastery's walls scarred with marks that pulsed under moonlight, the air heavy with dread as his prayers faltered. A 9th century Byzantine account tells of a scholar who etched Aamon's sigil, his library quaking as visions of burning cities filled his mind, his body wasting under the demon's piercing eyes, the ground trembling with his serpent's hiss. In 2025, his origins linger in relics, A Paris museum holds a grimoire with his sigil, its ink seeming to writhe as if alive, chilling curators who feel his gaze pierce through the ages, a testament to his unyielding terror. A 2024 Iraqi tale whispers of a desert shrine marked with Aamon's sigil, spared a sandstorm after offerings of myrrh and salt, the sands swirling with faint claw marks that glowed under moonless skies, the air thick with relief, yet laced with fear of his return. In 2025, a Damascus museum displays a Babylonian tablet, its sigil humming with an energy that scars the air, chilling visitors who sense his shadow. A 7th century BCE Judean tale speaks of a seer who invoked Aamon, his altar trembling as a wolf's howl echoed, the ground scarred with marks that pulsed faintly, his dreams consumed by a serpent's gaze. Aamon's origins are a tempest of cosmic dread, his shadow a chain that binds the soul, his legacy a warning to those who seek his deceptive truths, a force that threatens to sweep the heart into an eternal abyss. Demonology fans, which of Aamon's origins chills you most, this infernal birth, as a marquis of hell, or his ancient link to Aamon's hidden winds? His storm endures, his sigil ever pulsing in the dark. Aamon's powers, deception and prophecy. Aamon's power is a relentless tide of deception, his dominion over knowledge and prophecy, a force that bends reality, his breath a fiery storm that unveils truths cloaked in lies, searing the soul with its chaotic embrace. The Ars Goetia names him a master of hidden knowledge, his voice a whisper that burns the mind, granting visions of past and future that unravel sanity, each revelation a blade that cuts through reason. He stirs love between foes, twisting hearts into chaos, his wolf-like gaze a chain that binds the soul to his will, his serpent's tail coiling around truths, warping them into deceit, as described in the dictionary Infernal. A 9th century tale tells of a Damascus scholar who summoned Aamon, his home flooded with visions of burning cities, his body wasting as the demon's blazing eyes pierced his soul, the ground trembling with a howl that echoed like a curse through the night, the air thick with ash and dread. In a 10th century Babylonian account, a priest invoked Aamon's name, his altar quaking as visions of shattered empires filled his mind, his sleep consumed by a serpent's hiss that twisted his dreams into nightmares. In 2025, Aamon's powers echo through the ages, his shadow haunting those who dare seek his truths, his flames a storm that warps the heart into submission. A London occultist claims visions of his wolf-like form, his dreams haunted by futures that shift like shadows, his altar scarred with claw marks that glow faintly under starlight, the air heavy with sulfur, as his sanity frays. A 2024 Syrian tale speaks of a merchant who invoked Aamon's name, his wares spared ruin after burning incense, yet his sleep consumed by visions of a serpent's gaze, his home trembling as faint claw marks pulsed on the walls. In a 12th century Constantinople tale, a seer summoned Aamon, his library filled with visions of betrayals, his body trembling as the demon's fiery breath scorched his mind, the ground scarred with sigils that pulsed in the dark. Aamon's powers deception, prophecy, and chaos, a tide that drowns the heart, his howl a curse that binds the mind, a force that defies divine order and time. In 2025, a Berlin exhibit displays a tablet with Aamon's sigil, its stone humming with an unearthly energy, chilling visitors who feel his presence, as if his wolf's eyes watch from the shadows. A 2024 Jordanian tale whispers of an occultist who sought Aamon's prophecy, his dreams burned by visions of a serpent's tail coiling around stars, his altar trembling with offerings of myrrh, the ground scarred with faint marks that glowed under moonlight. Aamon's mastery is a chain that holds the soul captive, his flames a storm that twists reality, his gaze a blade that pierces the heart. His legacy is a warning to those who chase his secrets, his power a tide that threatens to sweep the soul into an eternal abyss. Demonology fans, which of Aamon's powers chills you most, this visions that unravel sanity, or his deception that binds the heart? His storm endures, his sigil ever pulsing in the night. Rituals of Aamon, summoning and banishment. Summoning Aamon is a perilous dance with chaos, his presence a storm that demands sacrifice, his sigil etched in blood or ink under moonless skies, trembling as his wolf's howl pierces the air, a tide of dread that threatens to sweep the soul into darkness. The Ars Goetia instructs offerings of precious metals or myrrh to draw his favor, the air thickening with sulfur as his sigil pulses, the ground quaking with the weight of his power, his serpent's tail coiling around the altar like a curse. A 7th century BCE Judean tale tells of a priest who burned myrrh to summon Aamon, his altar shaking as a wolf's shadow loomed, the flames dancing with claw marks that pulsed in the dark, the air heavy with ash as his voice whispered truths that burned the mind. To banish him, the angel Raphael's name was invoked, his divine light a fragile shield against Aamon's chaos, the ground stilling as his roar faded, leaving scars that glowed faintly under starlight. A 9th century Babylonian tale speaks of a sorcerer who failed the ritual, his home collapsing under a gale, his dreams haunted by Aamon's blazing eyes, the earth scarred with sigils that pulsed with his wrath. In 2025, Aamon's rituals echo through the ages, their terror undimmed, as Iraqi occultists chant Raphael's name, their altars strewn with salt and incense, trembling as Aamon's shadow retreats, the ground scarred with faint sigils that glow under moonless skies, a testament to his unyielding power. A 2024 Jerusalem tale tells of a scholar spared madness after burying Aamon's sigil in hallowed earth, the ground marked with claw marks that pulsed under starlight, the air heavy with relief yet laced with fear of his return. In a 12th century Damascus account, a mystic etched Aamon's sigil on parchment, his chamber quaking as a wolf's howl filled the air, his sleep consumed by visions of a serpent's gaze, the walls scarred with marks that glowed faintly. In 2025, a Paris museum holds a grimoire with his sigil, its ink humming with an unearthly energy, chilling curators who feel his gaze pierce the ages as if his storm lingers in the shadows. The Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum warns of Aamon's power, his sigil a force that binds the soul, his summoning a tide of dread that threatens to drown the heart, his banishment a fleeting shield against his chaos. A 2024 Syrian tale speaks of an occultist who burned incense to summon Aamon, his altar trembling as claw marks appeared, his dreams burned by visions of a wolf's eyes, the ground quaking with his presence. In 2025, a Berlin exhibit displays a Babylonian tablet, its sigil pulsing with energy, chilling visitors who sense his howl. Aamon's rituals are a chain that grips the soul, his storm a tempest that warps reality, his legacy a warning to those who seek his deceptive truths. Demonology fans, which of Aamon's rituals chills you most, this summoning that calls forth chaos or his banishment that barely holds back his storm? His howl endures, his sigil ever pulsing in the night. Aamon, in history, shadow of empires. Aamon's shadow stretched across history, his sigil whispered to lurk in the courts of kings and the rites of secret orders, his deception, a force that shaped empires, its dark tide twisting hearts and thrones into chaos. In 4th century Rome, mystics etched his sigil in hidden shrines, believing it granted knowledge of enemies' hearts, their altars trembling as Aamon's wolf-like form loomed, its blazing eyes piercing the air thick with sulfur and dread, the ground quaking as his serpent's tail coiled through the shadows. A Roman tale tells of a senator who invoked Aamon, his dreams flooded with visions of betrayals, his villa scarred with claw marks that pulsed faintly under moonlight, his sanity fraying as the demon's howl echoed through the night, a storm that warped reason into lies. In the 8th century Byzantine Empire, a scribe whispered of Aamon's sigil in a hidden chamber, his scrolls trembling as visions of fallen empires burned in his mind, the walls marked with faint sigils that glowed, a testament to the demon's unyielding power. In the Middle Ages, alchemists linked Aamon to the chaos of transformation, their grimoires trembling as his sigil glowed with an unearthly light, the ground quaking with his presence, his deception a blade that cut through the soul's defenses. A 13th century tale from Paris speaks of an alchemist who etched Aamon's sigil, his laboratory shaking as a wolf's shadow loomed, his dreams haunted by a serpent's gaze that twisted truths into nightmares, the air heavy with ash as his tools bore claw marks that pulsed in the dark. In 2025, Aamon's historical echo persists. A Damascus museum holds a Roman relic with his sigil, its stone humming with an energy that chills visitors, as if his gaze pierces through the ages. A 2024 Jordanian tale tells of a merchant who found Aamon's sigil in an ancient vault, his wares spared ruin after burning myrrh, the air thick with sulfur and relief, yet laced with dread as the ground trembled with faint claw marks that glowed under starlight. Aamon's influence is a tide of chaos that binds empires, his sigil a chain that grips the soul, his deception, a storm that haunts the heart across centuries. A 10th century Iberian tale speaks of a mystic who invoked Aamon, his cloister trembling as visions of betrayals filled his sleep, the walls scarred with marks that pulsed faintly, his heart bound by the demon's lies. In 2025, a Berlin exhibit displays a medieval grimoire, its pages humming with Aamon's energy, chilling curators who sense his howl. Aamon's legacy is a warning to those who seek his truths, his power a force that shapes history's unseen currents, his howl a curse that lingers in dreams, threatening to sweep the soul into an eternal abyss. Demonology fans, which of Aamon's historical echoes chills you most? This Roman sigils that unveiled betrayals or his medieval rites that warped reality? His storm endures, his sigil ever pulsing in the night. Aamon in 2025, modern echoes. In 2025, Aamon's shadow lingers, his sigil pulsing in occult forums and whispered conspiracies, a demon of deception haunting the modern world like a storm that never stills, its dark tide binding the soul in dread. Online communities buzz with terror, claiming his influence hides in cryptic symbols woven into digital art and corporate logos, their screens trembling as if grazed by his unseen claws, the air heavy with sulfur as his presence warps reality. A 2024 Iraqi tale tells of a village spared a sandstorm after etching Aamon's sigil on a desert shrine, the sands scarred with claw marks that glowed under moonlight, the ground quaking as his wolf's howl pierced the night, leaving the air thick with ash and fear. In Paris, a 2025 exhibit of a medieval grimoire hums with his energy, its pages writhing as if alive, chilling visitors who feel his serpent's gaze pierce through the ages, a testament to his unyielding power that threatens to drown the heart in chaos. Pop culture mirrors Aamon's dread, weaving his shadow into video games and dystopian films, their frames pulsing with his presence as if his sigil watches, its fiery breath a curse that haunts the soul. A 2024 Syrian tale speaks of an artist who painted Aamon's sigil, his studio quaking as his dreams burned with a wolf's blazing eyes, his canvas scarred as if clawed by an unseen force, the air thick with ash as his sleep was consumed by visions of a serpent's tail coiling through shadows. A 2024 London tale tells of a gamer who glimpsed Aamon's sigil in a game's code, his screen flickering as if possessed, his dreams haunted by a serpent's gaze that spun lies into nightmares, the room trembling with faint claw marks that pulsed in the dark. In 2025, a Jordanian account whispers of an occultist who etched Aamon's sigil, his altar shaking as visions of betrayals filled his mind, the ground scarred with marks that glowed faintly under starless skies. In 2025, occultists chant against Aamon's influence, their altars strewn with salt and myrrh, trembling as his shadow retreats, yet leaving sigils that glow faintly, a warning of his enduring storm. A 2024 Damascus tale speaks of a scholar who found Aamon's sigil in an ancient text, his home quaking as his dreams burned with a wolf's howl, the walls marked with claw marks that pulsed under moonlight. In a 2025 Berlin exhibit, a tablet with his sigil hums with an unearthly energy, chilling visitors who sense his presence, as if his fiery breath lingers in the air. Aamon's modern echo is a tide of fear, his deception a chain that binds the mind, his howl a storm that threatens to sweep the soul into an eternal abyss, a force that defies time and reason. Demonology fans, which of Aamon's modern echoes chills you most? This sigil pulsing in digital shadows, or his gaze haunting pop culture? His storm endures, his howl ever poised to claim the heart in darkness. Aamon, the shadow demon of deception, is a force of cosmic dread, his howl a storm that shakes the soul, his sigil a chain that binds empires and hearts. its dark tide weaving chaos through the ages, from the ancient pages of the Ars Goetia to the whispered tales of 2025, where his presence lingers like a curse that defies time and reason. His power spans grimoires etched with trembling ink, their pages pulsing with his serpent's gaze, to modern lore where his shadow haunts occult forums and cryptic symbols, chilling those who sense his fiery breath. A 7th century BCE Judean tale tells of a priest who invoked Aamon, his altar quaking as a wolf's howl pierced the night, the ground scarred with claw marks that glowed under starlight, his dreams burned by visions of twisted futures. In 2025, a Paris museum holds a grimoire with his sigil, its ink writhing as if alive, chilling curators who feel his gaze pierce the ages, the air heavy with sulfur and dread. A 2024 Syrian tale speaks of an artist who painted his sigil, his studio trembling as his sleep was consumed by a serpent's gaze, his canvas scarred as if clawed by an unseen force. His deception weaves a chaos that warps reality, his prophecy a flame that burns the mind, granting visions of betrayals and shattered empires that unravel sanity. As a 9th century Damascus scholar learned, when his home was filled with visions of burning cities, his body wasting under Aamon's blazing eyes. In 2024, an Iraqi village etched his sigil on a shrine, spared a sandstorm, yet the sands glowed with marks that pulsed faintly, the air thick with fear of his return. Aamon's presence is a warning to those who seek his truths, his power a tide that drowns reason, as seen in a 2024 London tale of a gamer whose screen flickered with his sigil, his dreams haunted by a wolf's howl that spun lies into nightmares. In 2025, occultists chant against his influence, their altars trembling with salt and myrrh, the ground scarred with sigils that glow under moonless skies, a fragile shield against his storm. His legacy is a chain that binds the soul, his howl a curse that lingers in dreams, a force that shapes the unseen currents of history and the modern world, from Roman shrines to medieval alchemists' grimoires, each trembling under his shadow. Demonology fans, which of Aamon's powers chills you most? His visions of twisted futures that unravel the mind, or his lies that bind the soul in an eternal abyss? Share below, subscribe for more dives into the shadows, and beware, his howl still sounds, his storm ever poised to claim the heart in an unending night.